Hello, everyone. Dr. Victoria Skirbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. Today is April 4th. It is the 4-4 portal, and I'm actually going to be doing the 4-4 portal reading on the actual day. I actually had pondered in my head that maybe I would try to get up at 4:44 a.m. and do this reading. But then I thought to myself, that would be a little bit too scary. Not so much the reading, but me at 4:44 a.m. coming right out of bed. So I said, best I get up, have a cup of coffee, comb my hair, and or do something with my hair, and get started. So let's take a look now. Before we get to the reading, I thought maybe we could look at a little astrology just to get a sense of the energy astrologically that's happening at this time. And so what I did do is I did not scare you at 4:44 a.m. this morning with my visage, but I did pull up a chart for it. So let's take a look at this chart. Now, I just incidentally, so we have the 4-4 portal, 4/4/2023 at 4:44 a.m. I figured I would do the 4:44 a.m. chart because that is like officially when it's 4:44. Like if we go to 4:44 p.m., it's actually in military time, a different time. So I thought this might be more apt, but it's not going to be that much different. And we're not really looking at the ascendant here and all that stuff. We're really just looking at the planetary setup. And we can see here that we have a lot of planets in Aries. We have the Sun, we have Chiron, we have Jupiter, all in a stellium in Aries. And then we come to Mercury, which is closing in on the North Node. It will be making a conjunction to the North Node later in the week or in the beginning of next week. I can't remember it, quite frankly. Of course, we have Saturn newly in Pisces. We have Pluto newly in Aquarius. Here's the moon at, excuse me, at 4:44 in the morning. By the evening, actually the moon is still going to be in 4:44 this evening. The moon is still going to be in Virgo. It doesn't shift into Libra, the next sign, until later in the evening, just before 6 p.m. on the east coast of the U.S. We can see, however, that the moon is opposing Neptune. Now, the moon is the most personal of places, and in Virgo, it's detail-oriented personal stuff, in opposition to Neptune and Pisces, all things, everything, all consciousness, mass consciousness, the biggest picture possible, Pisces with Neptune. So there's this sense of the little you and the big wide universe. So we're sort of in, what's that expression? In relief. I think that's the expression I want to use. We do, if you look at the all these interesting figures in here, we do have a water trine, a grand trine in water with Mars and Saturn and the south node of the moon. Mars is one of the co-rulers of the south node of the moon. And this is a flow of energy. Now, this can be a flow of energy from the past because we have the south node here, okay? Things from the past coming up, okay? But then we also have these two sextiles, which create something called a kite. Grand trines can just spin on their own and nothing comes of them. But when you have this configuration where you have a kite and you have two sextiles and then in opposition to one of the points in the grand trine, this is an engine. This is an engine. This is the engine that could. The north, the top of this sort of kite, right? Not where you'd put the tail of the kite, but the part that would be like up in the air going like this, right? is conjunct Mercury in Taurus, just moved into Taurus yesterday, and the North Node in Taurus. And so this sort of points to direction. How can we use this very, very potent yet and flowing energy of feeling, emotion, and the like in service to stabilizing and saying what needs to be said. Venus, Mercury in Taurus is square Pluto. We had Mercury move into Taurus yesterday, and shortly thereafter it made a square to Pluto. And that sort of activated further activated the fact that Pluto right now is squaring the nodes of the moon. Now, this doesn't happen often. It is an evolutionary crossroads. We are at an evolutionary crossroads, folks. The resolution node for this configuration is the South Node in Scorpio. So we need to look to the past to see what we need to release. What do we need to let go of? Okay, as we move into the present moment to function and to move in the direction of our destiny, which is a destiny that is stable, valued, practical. The ruler of this North Node in Taurus is Venus in Taurus, still in Taurus. And then, of course, we have Uranus here, which is the wild card, always the wild card, right? So we are at a point now in, I think, astrologically, especially in April, where we have Pluto moving forward for the first time in 248 years to be in, to move into Aquarius. And it's only going to move forward until the end of April, and then it turns retrograde and moves back. And by June 11th, it goes back into Capricorn for us to further work. But that being said, and I'm going to make myself bigger here if I can. That being said, this month especially is an opportunity for us to move and see what is possible. What's the possible future for us? And so you need to keep your eyes open during this time. So let's take a look at the 4/4 portal. I'm going to use my Druid Craft tarot. And although it's big and unwieldy, I'm inspired to use it. I just found out that I'm going to my goddaughter's wedding in Ireland. And so I put on my green and I pulled out my Druid tarot. That's going to happen at the end of May. And I'm real excited. This was supposed to happen back in 2020, but as you know, all things that were supposed to happen in 2020 did not. The best laid plans of mice and men, brides and grooms and the like. So we're going to have a celebration 3 years later. So I'm excited, a little nervous. I haven't traveled across the pond in decades. I think the last time I crossed the Atlantic was the 80s. It's been a long time. That's what happens when you have your own business. And it's a business where people are coming to your office for care. It's very difficult to get out of town, really, especially when it's your own thing. But now that I am a traveling astrologer, Kabbalist, and card reader, along with, my old chiropractic skills, not so old, hopefully not that old. Now I'm a little more mobile and I'm excited for it. So I probably shouldn't be telling you this is supposed to be a portal reading, but I'm so excited. I can't hold it in. I've always wanted to go to Ireland. I feel like I have an Irish soul. Okay. I know I'll feel right at home. Okay, let's take a look here. This is for the 4/4 portal reading. What information do we need to have? So the first thing you have to do, or that's being requested, is that you shine your light. You shine your light. We have the Hermit. This is an energy of teaching what you know, shining your light. Your experiences count. Your story counts. And many of us have had a challenging climb. You know, the Hermit lives atop the mountain. He had to actually climb to get there. So now he's up the top. He's there with his wolf, which is symbolic of the teacher. We can see here in the sky, we have it looks like a new moon or a crescent moon. So it's about starting to put your light out there into the world. So let's see what is challenging that. Just doing it. The Ace of Swords is the challenge. The Ace of Swords as a challenge is taking the action, taking up the sword and taking the action, making a commitment to yourself. Let's see what's underneath it. To wields the sword like the King of Swords, right? The King of Swords is somebody who is a very, very good judge of character, very has a good sense of, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a military word. Let me see. Strategy. This guy's a strategist. He's a good judge of character. This is really about the action that you take about sharing your wisdom needs to be considered, thought, taking into consideration both sides of an issue, and yet it's still requiring you to shine your light. Shine your light. Let's see what's in the past. Yeah, so something has held you back up to this point. You're at a crossroads in the past, a crossroads where a path had to be made. Four is a vibration of crisis. So we have a double four, crisis and opportunity. Four is also a building vibration. Okay. So we have an opportunity, a crisis that requires a decision, an action to be taken to build something. Let's see what's in the sky. We have the Five of Cups in the sky. The sky is often, as I read it, can be messages from spirit sometimes. It can be the general outlook of the outer world. And so we see there's a lot of people mourning their losses, but this is a time for taking up those cups that are left and moving forward. So even though things may not have worked out the way you had planned them to work out, and you know, a lot of times our biggest challenge with these things isn't that fact that something didn't happen, but it's our expectations around what didn't happen. So I think this also kind of speaks a little bit to what's going on, I think, politically in the United States. There can be, we've been waiting so long for an action to be taken, and it's a little bit of a letdown because it doesn't seem like it's enough, or it doesn't seem like it's working out exactly as we wanted it to. But it doesn't matter really, because it's going to work out the way it's going to work out, and it's up to you to take those two cups that are left to get over to a certain extent the loss here, and take the two cups and move on. So that's what Spirit is saying. No matter how it seems, if it does, it's not satisfactory, it's not exactly what you expected, it's still imploring you to take the time that you need, because the Five of Cups is about taking the time that you need to grieve. But then there's also a process of getting over the grief and moving on, and allowing that part of your life to sort of inform you as you move forward. Let's see the immediate future. We have the Prince of Swords, a lot of swords in this deck. Now, the Prince of Swords is about taking an action on what you believe. The Prince of Swords can be notoriously impulsive and not necessarily understanding what they're getting themselves into. This can also be somebody who has criminal intention. Okay, so there is, but it's less that can be it. But even that, the Prince of Swords is somebody who moves forward on what they believe. The question is, how much chaos are you creating in that, or are you not? I mean, you can move forward on the way you believe. So what I would say is, at the root of this is, before you take an action, think about what it's gonna cost. Think about what it is that you're doing. Let's see how it's seen from the outside. This is a step in the direction of your prosperity, and you of putting your values out there, putting out what's important, expressing that. Domestic situation. We have the High Priest. This is pretty powerful. There's a lot of power in these cards. So this portal is a portal of power. The vibration of this day, 4/4/2023, is a 15/6. That's the Devil card. We'll talk about that after the reading. Hopes and fears, the Four of Cups. This is a boredom, right? This is a boredom. This is not being satisfied with what's around you, but not taking an action to change it, or not looking around to see if there are other options. This is sort of getting caught in the drudgery of it all. I would say that's probably a fear. Most people don't hope for that. And the outcome is the King of Cups. The King of Cups is somebody who is nurturing and who has dominion over their feelings, The King of Swords is dominion over the mind. Let's see if we can pull a major arcana. We have the Tower. This is illumination. So something is being illuminated. And of course, today on the fourth portal, Donald Trump is going to the Manhattan DA's office, I guess, or the court there. I don't know. Sorry if I don't know the right words, but he's being held accountable for the first time in his life. And this is an illuminating moment for him, and it's an illuminating moment for us. Everybody pays the price for what they do and what they don't do. And that's why it's so very important for us to consider, based on our experience, the next action we're going to take. The next action is very important. And that sort of puts a little bit of a pressure on you, but it's okay. You're strong enough to withstand the pressure. Underneath it all is the healing card. This is the Temperance card in this deck. It's called the Feralt. I'm sure it's not pronounced that way. It's Gaelic. It's probably like or something like that. I don't know Gaelic. The Hanged Man, which is understanding what you can affect and affecting it, and letting go of the rest, and staying connected to cosmic consciousness. And the Devil card, Chronos. This is the devil is in the Celtic tradition. It's not the same thing as the Christian, like Satan stuff. Chronos was the force of the masculine force of nature, the penetrator, the wild man of the forest, our animal nature. And so we are healing the animal nature and the divine nature through this. We're bringing our divine nature, which is the Hanged Man card, right? The understanding that God is in charge, or God, Goddess, all that is in charge. And through connection to that, we can move through this time. And then we also have a very earthly, action-oriented Chronos energy here, our devil energy. And then the first card up was the healing. So it's a balancing of that. It's a balancing of the earth, our earthly self, and our heavenly self to a certain extent. And coming from that place of integration, that we need to move forward at this time. So that is what those cards say to me. And that's what this portal reading is saying to me. Now, we are in we are in a vibration of the devil. The devil, the 15-6 vibration, is one in which it's good to have a sense of humor. So, especially if you find yourself getting upset today, I think it's important for us to laugh where we can, and understand that being chained to the devil is a choice. Like everything, we have free will. We don't have to be chained to the devil. Now, a lot of times the devil is seen as this energy of greed and avarice and being so enamored by the physical world, the temporal physical world, that we sell our soul to the devil. We sell our soul to the devil. And we can't really do that, but what we can do is we can choose not to align with our higher nature. The devil is not our lower nature. The devil is a portal, a threshold for us to realize that the devil is just the reflection of God, goddess, all that is, but on a physical, lower vibrational level. And so the devil can be our friend as long as we stay connected to knowing that everything that is of the earthly realm is temporal and it will fade away. And by staying connected or too connected to that part, you know, ultimately we all end up back in spirit. Ultimately, we all return to source. Even if it's between lifetimes, we go back up into the ethers and then we come back down and we do our thing and we come back up and we come back down. So there's this cycle of birth and death and rebirth and death and birth and rebirth, death. And the devil knows the secret that we are more than our earthly self. And that's what the devil is here to teach us. We are more than our earthly self. We are spiritual beings as well. And the choice is, it doesn't necessarily mean you can't manifest on the physical plane. There are many highly spiritual beings that live very manifested lives on the physical plane, but it's not their primary focus. Or actually, I shouldn't say that. There are a lot of, we'll put on quote unquote spiritual folk that their major focus is how many jets they can have, right? So we might see some of that come up in the news as well. These sort of holier than holy people that are actually just tied to the devil because of the money they make. So there's a lot of things that can be exposed with this energy. But for you, what's most important for you is to just shine your light. Shine your light, the light of your experience. People will be looking for guidance, and it's almost the picture I get is, you're moving through a dark forest and you come upon a cottage and there's like warm candlelight in the window, or you can see like the dining room table where the person is, where they're cooking, or there's like puffs of smoke coming out of the fireplace. Kind of a port in a storm, but not so like that there's a storm out there, but just coming out of the darkness into the light and putting the night light on for folks. I think that's real important. So as we move through this time and we move through this portal, we're being reminded to put on the porch light and help people find their way out of the darkness into the light. And the light is within them. So that's the way you have to find it. You find the light within the darkness by finding the light within. Okay, one more card. I would like to do a Starseed oracle card here, and we'll pick an oracle card for this portal. I just love these cards. I used them in all my tarot scopes this past month. I mean, this month. Tarot scopes for April. I used this deck. If you haven't checked those out, check them out. To check out your rising, your sun, or your moon, or just the Aries reading, which is pretty good for everybody. But I don't remember what I said. I just know that that's a reading that can apply to all of us. Okay. 4/4 portal. What is the Starseed? What do we need to know? What do we need to know? Spirit, what do we need to know? Okay. I need to know. I need new glasses. That I do. Inner Earth. You'll survive this. New solutions and beginnings. I like that. Excuse me. What an itchy nose. Does that mean you're getting in a fight? I hope not. Oh, sorry. I might sneeze. Allergies, spring is here. I'll put it up because it's such a pretty card, right? Look at that gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous card. It says Inner Earth, also known as Agartha, is believed to be a hidden subterranean world within the planet itself. Many ancient cultures mention it in their stories. It's said that some of the beings of the ancient lost lands, such as Lemuria, Atlantis, and Iravarta, went there. Hindu and Celtic lore mention caves and entrances to underground worlds. Tibetan Buddhism refers to the secret mystical city Shambhala, which is thought to be located in the Himalayas. Many have searched for inner earth in the physical world, but without success. So the mystery continues, and its place that exists in the is it a place that exists in the physical or another level of consciousness? There are solutions beyond what you can perceive, surprising outcomes to your problems and situations, resolutions that are in the best interests of all involved. If you find yourself facing an obstacle or feeling stuck or have no idea what to do, you're being reassured that there is a way out. You will survive this and things will work out. If you are stuck in a rut, do something to shake up the energy and shift your thinking. Try something you wouldn't normally do. Soon you'll see a whole new world of solutions. A whole new world of solutions are available. Things that were previously beyond your focus will present themselves. Helpful people, signs from the universe, and support in both expected and unexpected ways are on their way to you. But first, you need to do something different to shift your focus so you can receive them. What can you do to shift your energy or your outlook? It seems to go along with the reading of having to take the action to shine the light. There are answers, there are solutions. To a certain extent, they're beyond our understanding. And it's important for us to stay connected to source and also to live effectively in this world. 4 is the salt of the earth. We're being asked to live in the world that we have created, and we can continually create and co-create with spirit. The journey continues, folks, and I am happy to share my journey with you, shine my light as I can to the best of my ability, and you shine back at me. And I'm very grateful for all of it. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful portal day. Don't get too cray-cray on any of the stuff that's happening. Remember, the media has a way of stirring the pot so that they can feed off the energy of it. So it's good to know what's going on, but it's also good to not let what's going on necessarily negatively affect you and affect your life. So don't allow that to happen. shine your light, take the actions that you need, refocus how you're going to look at things, and move forward carefully. Carefully. Okay, guys, take care. Much love. I love you. Namaste.